Hey everyone, my name is Amber Schreiner, and I'm the co-founder of Juniperus. I'm a writer, I'm a social media strategist, I'm a digital advertiser, and I am definitely a political junkie. Now, I wanted to do this webinar because recently a lot of campaigns are having to suspend their canvassing and a lot of other aspects of their day-to-day. The reality is, during these trying times, you don't have to suspend your campaign, you just have to bring it digital. Alright, so today we're going to talk about why social media is important, social media for politics, social media by age. We're going to talk about platform nuances, accessibility, mobile toolkits, when to go live and how, the importance of hashtags, and we'll get into Facebook advertising. So why is social media important? Social media allows you an opportunity to reach your audience organically, and through paid strategies, you can reach a broader audience at a fraction of the cost of traditional advertising. For instance, many of our campaigns can reach over 1,000 people for about $10. Compared to a mailer, you'll see why social media advertising is imperative for today's campaigns. In 2020, content must be shaped for the platform it's intended to live on. An image at a campaign rally must be optimized and resized for Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Facebook's algorithm favors video, Instagram doesn't allow embedded links and relies heavily on creative content, and Twitter has a 280-character limit. The variations between platforms can make posting a burden, so you'll want to identify which platforms to use and the do's and don'ts for each. Remember that social media allows for instantaneous and constant communication with your district. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about social media by age. These charts show users who have logged in at least once in the past month. You'll see that 69% of boomers have logged into Facebook at least once in the last month, whereas only 27% of the same population has logged into Twitter during the same time. Using data like this allows you to assess who your audience is and prioritize your social platforms based on that. Now I want to get into a little bit about platform nuances. We're going to talk about Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram and how they're all different. So Facebook is a video-centric platform. It has the ability to go live, and it's the best way to share events. You'll likely have the most complete demographic of your district here, and that's important. It's also, in my opinion, the best for utilizing ads. My recommendation with Facebook is to engage with all positive comments and shares. This can be as simple as liking a comment and as complex as engaging a follower in a dialogue. Next, when we talk about Twitter, it's important to know that there's still a 280-character limit. It's actually double what it used to be at 140. Twitter is a hashtag and handle platform, and it's the best platform to jump into a conversation and create new fans. It's also the only platform that's still chronological. Hashtags on Twitter allow you to search for and engage with content in which you may not have been tagged. You can create and use identified lists of hashtags to search for opportunities to contribute to conversations. Now on to Instagram. Instagram is all about compelling video and photo content. Here you can also go live, and it's best for behind the scenes and a day in the life type content. Instagram is another hashtag-enabled platform. You can use relevant hashtags to find communities receptive to your campaign and capitalize on those opportunities to inspire others to join in on your campaign. Nestled in Instagram is Instagram Stories and IGTV. Both are incredibly useful for increasing engagement. Next, I want to talk about accessibility, which is extremely important, especially in campaign work. There are approximately 10 million Americans that are deaf or hard of hearing, with 1 million that are functionally deaf. More than half of all persons with hearing loss or deafness are 65 years or older, and less than 4% are under the age of 18. Additionally, 3% of Americans over the age of 40 are either legally blind or visually impaired. Now, it's shocking to me how many politicians don't take these constituents into account and don't incorporate accessibility features into their digital campaigns. For instance, last June, I checked every presidential candidate website and found that not one was accessible to the blind. Now, that in and of itself is so important. But additionally, a survey of U.S. consumers found that 92% of those on mobile watch videos with the sound off, and 80% of consumers are more likely to watch an entire video when captions are available. So what do we do with this information? We want to make sure that we create captions for Instagram stories and posts, We want to caption photos on Instagram and Facebook using details about the who, what, when, and why, so that accessibility tools can translate that information. When we're posting videos on Facebook, we want to make sure to go back after we upload and add captions. And on your website and blog, where applicable, caption all the images and videos. With the intersection of politics and social media, you will likely find yourself in a constant dilemma between being the first to post something or having the best content. By having a mobile toolkit ready to go, you'll make sure that you are able to quickly get out breaking news and have it look great at the same time. We'll talk more about social schedulers, image editors, and mobile toolkits in our next webinar, Social Media Content Creation and Advertising. Okay, next I want to talk about live content. Live is a great way to speak to your audience or share an exciting moment, a rally, an event. Live content also performs better with social media algorithms. Now, I want to give you a few things to keep in mind. If you're not at an event, make sure that you talk for 20 to 30 seconds before jumping into your content. You want to make sure you give people enough time to see that you're live, jump in, join the stream. Then, you're going to want to mention people by name. When you see users go live, say hi. Maybe it's Ted from next door. Maybe it's your campaign manager. Whoever it is, take an opportunity to welcome one or two people to your feed. Ask your audience to share the feed. That's the best way that you're going to have more views organically. Ask your audience questions, encourage them to comment and engage. And at the end of your video, make sure to thank those who viewed. Include a call to action and make sure to say goodbye. Never abruptly end your videos. Next, I want to talk about hashtag best practices. Hashtags are searchable on nearly every social media platform. They allow us to track conversation volume, topics, interested users, and campaign popularity. That being said, the rules of using hashtags, and now keywords and phrases, are often unclear. Here are a few guidelines on how to identify and use hashtags. Okay, first, you want to research a hashtag's origin, volume on the channel, and use prior to using the hashtag in your creative. This is so important, and I see way too many brands jumping into conversations with hashtags without finding out the origin first. A simple hashtag review in the search bar of each platform will reveal the primary conversation associated with the term and how many people are using it. From there, you can decide whether or not the existing conversation aligns with you and your campaign. Okay, next we're going to talk about Facebook advertising. Whether you're already utilizing Facebook advertising or you plan to once your fundraising kicks into high gear, you'll want to start now to get certified to run political ads. Now, in the US, any advertiser who wants to create or edit ads about US social issues, legislation, elections, political figures, or political parties will be required to go through an authorization process and place paid-for-by disclaimers on ads, and lastly, have their ads enter the Facebook ad library. That sounds like a lot. Okay, so here's the process. First, you'll need to be a business page admin. If you haven't created a campaign page yet, this is a great time to do so. Next, you'll want to set up two-factor authentication on your Facebook account. Now, this can be done in your settings, and it's a great safety feature that you should have regardless of whether you run ads or not. Last, you'll need to upload a copy of your ID, passport, or other government-issued ID and a U.S. residential mailing address to Facebook. From there, it's a waiting game. In just a few weeks, Facebook will get back to you and you're ready to start advertising. You're certified to run Facebook ads. Now what? Facebook advertising is one of the most affordable and precise ways to reach your audience. And to run a successful campaign, you'll want to pay attention to these three things: data, creative, and analytics. So let's talk about how to use data to get results. You're probably already using some sort of data. Maybe you're collecting emails for fundraising or addresses for yard signs. In the digital space, data can help you reach your target audience and also retarget people that showed interest in your content, maybe liking, sharing, watching your videos, or other things. So here are some types of data that we'll use: voter files, Facebook targeting, digital retargeting, and data outside of Facebook. More to come on this. Next, let's talk about Facebook creative. It's not hard to have the best content if you plan ahead. You're going to want to use photos and videos that show people and their faces rather than their backs. Now, if you don't have the bandwidth to create compelling videos, that's more than okay, but take selfie video. And don't make assumptions about what will appeal to your audience. Make several variations of paid ads that use different copy and creative so that you have a scientific approach to what works. Essentially, this is like being able to poll your district without having to spend all the money to poll your district. In the next webinar, we'll go over how to use A/B testing to get real results. When we talk about style guides, it's your personal preference whether you want to use AP or another guide. But whatever you choose, make sure you create a document with basic rules for whoever will be working on the social media pages. At first, you might be the only one posting, but as your campaign grows, and it will, you'll want to make sure that you have these guidelines in place. You likely decided to run for office or get involved politically because of one or two policies that you're extremely passionate about. Now, you'll want to make sure that for the topics you aren't as well versed in, that you're using the correct verbiage and that you aren't repeating misinformation. Okay, we've reached the end of our Intro to Social Media for Politics webinar, and we know that was a ton of information, but there's just so much to learn when it comes to making your campaign a success. As a full-scale digital agency, know that Juniperus is available to consult on your campaign at any time. We also recommend taking a deeper dive into our other webinars that focus on subjects like social media advertising, SEO, content creation, and much more. Thanks so much for watching, and we can't wait to talk to you soon.